your breakfast TV show, every weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
It's your good morning, Anambra, and this is welcoming you to a time we have with you to really look into some of the issues that affect us as a people. And this time around, we have a topic that says citizens' engagement, cum good governance, promoting citizens' engagement, cum good governance. And now it's barely 12 days to Nigeria's general election. And most Nigerians are yet to grasp what it actually entails to engage in government activities or electoral processes and thus promote good governance. And so we are here this morning to really look at what it entails and, of course, best ways to engage and, of course, enthrone good governance for good. In the studio this morning, we have two guests to help us look at this topic. Honorable Timothy Nwachukwu is a human rights activist. Glad to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. We still have Mr. Bruno Ibekilo in the studio. Mr. Bruno, thank you so much for staying back.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Talking about promoting citizens' engagement and good governance, let's begin with you, Bruno. Let's get to really understand what citizens' engagement actually entails.
In looking at citizens' engagement, it is about trying to bring the citizen to play the role he's supposed to play in a society or in a state. Okay? On the tripod, you have the people, the state, and the government. The government doing for the people what they cannot afford to do for themselves. So the citizens we're talking about is the people. But here we're talking about citizens who are conscious, or who should be conscious of what is happening in government in the interest of that state and entity. Okay? So the people must be involved in checking what the government is doing. So, but here you now find out that there is this docility among the citizens. Some persons will now come up and form a kind of a common front.
And that is the gap we'll be trying to close
Yes.
this morning at
Yes.
the end of this
Thank you.
discussion.
Thank you.
You know. All right. Now, when you talk about our people being docile, you know, how do you think we can get them to understand what it means? That's why I asked that question. Let's really get it into their hearts that this is what it entails to really engage government in order to enthrone good government.
Yes. What it takes is that consciousness. And if you're saying citizens engagement again, the state, our representatives in government, should equally be coming up to engage with the citizens. Account of stewardship after some time in office, constituency meetings, okay, through your constituency offices, okay, people seeing that what you promised you would do, you are doing. So, but what we require here is that simulation of that consciousness to ensure that the two divides are meeting at a point in the interest of that state.
In other words, it is the right of the citizen
Yes.
to engage the government.
Yes.
All right.
If you say it's the right of the citizen, is it also the right of the government to engage the citizen? And let me come to you. How well do you think the government or the people who have
The
been,
responsibility.
you know,
Okay.
yes, the people who have been chosen, you know, elected into office, how well would you say they've been able to engage the citizen as regards to what he earlier said, that to check if what they say they will do for the citizens they're doing?
Section 14 of the 1999 Constitution stipulates that the welfare of the people is the priority of the government. And then if the leaders understand that the welfare of the people, it should be the priority, then the leaders must take proactive measures to ensure that they engage the people. Because when you engage the people, you'll be able to understand the challenges they're having, be able to understand the various issues that they are facing and the better way to address it. Let me make a reference to two governors, our own governor, they were willingly working, Willie Obiano. During his first term, he brought out something like choose your project in every community, in all the communities in Anambra State. And they were like, if whatever the project that is priority to you, to your community, choose it. Okay? Now, in Ondo State, when Governor Mimiko was governor, he brought out, he had a slogan, caring heart. In every community, he set out a particular fund amount of money. You, the community, choose what you want and execute this project. Now, this should be the way government ought to work. And it shouldn't be that the leaders will be in the office and determine for the people what their utmost needs are. For example, the people themselves, in some places, they could be lacking healthcare facilities, they could be lacking educational facilities, they could be lacking in sports development, and then the government have the responsibility of engaging them, knowing, not just during the electioneering period to solicit for their vote. The government should be responsive and be responsible to find out what is their utmost. There are some communities in Anambra State that is being ravaged by a Russian menace. And the government should take proactive measures to find out what is the unique challenge of this community and find a way to...
All right, now we are actually trying to get our people to understand what it means for them to engage the government. Now, you are a lecturer, you mix with students and lecturers. In fact, let me call you, you mix with people. How much do you think Nigerians really understand what it means, or if they really know that they have to engage the government? Please.
The issue is that when certain things travel over a long time, becomes cultural. We have, especially in this part of the world, that I can do mentality, which we proved after the Civil War, post 2 pounds, reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation failure. Okay? So people don't no longer rely on government. So that I can do spirit is with us here. So that I can do spirit again has taken it away from us that we should ask the government to be doing what they are supposed to do for us. In this Igbo land, people go and buy transformers, draw the line, call the government to come and switch it on.
Even
people do boreholes,
build hospitals,
call the government, come and take the first cup of water. But ordinarily, these are things government should
be doing for the people.
Should be the first thing the government to think of. But today, what obtains is that we are reversing back to expect the government to do them. In the 80s, in the early 90s, people were doing it for themselves. Community effort. Okay? Now it is reversing. But what I'm telling you, what obtains today is that a crop of younger ones, which I interact with often, and some other persons at the middle age bracket there is this loss of confidence in governance. The issue is that we dare do it, even if you talk from now till heaven comes, we dare do it.
But we need to let them know that it is worth doing. At least let's begin from somewhere.
The media, like we are doing it today, and that is what the church is doing. We are all merchants of hope. The church will give you hope that if you do the right thing here, you die and go to heaven. That is when you die. But now that you're living, continue suffering, carry your cross and follow your God. Okay, so what we are going to be doing here is to keep on engaging, keep on keep on stimulating that kind of thinking in people that, look, for goodness sake, this man is representing you in the legislature. Call a town hall meeting if he doesn't call, because they're supposed to call. Call a town hall meeting. Let him come and tell us what he has done.
There's something really bothering me, because it looks as if most times what we really do in Nigeria here is talk, and talk again. Because it looks as if nobody is actually doing anything. Now, we know that we as citizens, we have the right to engage the government. You said something earlier on that the citizens have lost confidence. They have this loss of confidence with the government. Will they do? Will they not do? Don't you think is one of the reasons driving why somebody will wake up in the morning and buy a transformer and tell the government to come and do? Because if you see, you know what, I think I've had enough of them. Let me just do their thing. But these things doesn't happen in the Western world. What is responsible? Because I know for sure that these people know they are right, and when the government mess up, see, they come for them, regardless of who is rich or who is not rich. We need this, and we get it. Why is it not the case in Nigeria?
I think basically in Nigeria, our people has been victims of maladministration, and that is what transpires when you see PHC and bring light. You see people shouting and jubilating, and they're happy, thinking, trying to appreciate them, not knowing that this should be a normal thing, this should be a normal responsibility. Now, let me go straight to the point. How can we, the citizens, wake up to the fact that the government ought to do this to us and begin to engage them? It should start with enlightenment, public enlightenment. The people themselves must realize that the power resides with them. Until you understand the kind of power you have, you will never checkmate the government. For example, this is electionary period. Until we understand that we have the power to go there and choose who will represent us in government, until you take that step to make that choice, what will happen? Whoever gets in there will not be accountable to you. But if you believe that you do not collect 5,000 naira or a bag of rice, and you voted for your own candidate, you now have the power, the local standing, to even go for a recall if the person is not performing. So basically, we need more of enlightenment. We need more of citizen engagement. We need more of the civil society. All these things has been going on, but we need to increase it so that the people will be able to understand that their destiny is in their hands.
Talking about enlightenment, do you think we've not had enough? Because see, it's one thing. I'm a Nigerian. I've been here for quite some decades now.
We've not had enough. We've not had enough. It's just like asking, if I think we've had enough of education. Presently, we are in an electionary period, like he already said. Like I said earlier, that civil society culture is leaving us. Because, for you to keep a civil society alive, you must have a very strong means of income.
Yes.
Because nobody is ready to give you a dime, especially at the early stages. So you're going to, let's say, occupy Oka. You want to block the front of the government house. You go to the 21 local government areas, mobilize 100 persons, bring them here in a bus to carry placard in front of government house. And you're a private person. Who will pay for those things? You must have a strong means of livelihood. And remember, once you're dependent on government and you do that twice, they will attack your source of income. So we've not had enough. We should have more civil society organizations. Like I said earlier, today is electioneering era. The INEC, the voter education, which the political parties, the candidates, National Orientation Agency, and the PRO unit of the INEC, to educate the masses. Today we're having about 91 political parties. So for presidency, you see 91 columns. Will they come in? Have they started seeing the prototype voters card? What do you call it? Ballot paper. So we haven't even had enough education. 180-something universities in Nigeria today, and still the rate of out-of-school children is highest in Nigeria.
All right. Please, the program is Good Morning Anambra, and we are promoting citizens' engagement, good governance. You have the opportunity to call now and make your own opinion count on this topic. Now, Mr. Bruno, there is something you said earlier that people have lost confidence in governance. And he talked about going to the polls, that is the beginning of the engagement. And you will also agree that most Nigerians, do I call it voter apathy now? How do we begin to let them understand that this is the way to begin with their citizens' engagement? Because it's when you elect a leader that you can actually call the person to give an account of what he's been doing while there. Please, how do we do that? In what ways do we let the people know that we have to engage these people?
Letting the people know is educating them. Knowledge is power. That is what we are doing here. The print media, electronic media, the churches, the schools,
online,
the new media. Check your ABS site, Facebook account. The number of persons who stroll through your account there, people who Google ABS on a daily basis will have surpassed the number of persons who would have listened to radio or watched ABS TV.
Good morning. Hello, good morning. Move away from your TV set. Move away from your TV set. All right, let's make it easy for ourselves. When you call, as much as possible, move away from your TV set, or better still, tone down the volume of your TV set so we can actually enjoy ourselves this morning.
All right, at this point, we'd like to let you know that we'll be going on a very short break. The program will return after now. Please don't go anywhere.
Ojukwezi Igbo gwara anyị na nke a bụ nke anyị, apụga bụ nke anyị. Onye ọbụla tụnye akwụkwọ ya ebe esela ọkụkọ maka ndozi obodo anyị. Ụmụnne m, ka etunyelu ndị niile na-azọ ọchịchị n'otu APGA maka ndị na-ejele anyị House of Assembly na ndị na-ejele anyị Federal House of Representatives na Presidential Candidate of Agri Party, Senate nakwa Governorship. APGA ewetela anyị mmepe dị iche iche n'obodo anyị. A ga-alụrụ anyị okporo ụzọ malụ mma, street light ga-adị ebe niile. A ga-enye ndị ntorobịa anyị ọlụ, ụmụ anyị ga-agụkwa akwụkwọ n'efu, nri ga-adị nyafu nyafu. A ga na-akwụ ndị ọlụ oyibo ụgwọ, ndị pensioners ga na-eli ụgwọ fa. Anyị ga-enwe ezigbo nchekwa ndụ na akụnụba na ife ndị ọzọ dị iche iche. Ụmụnne m ndị ihe ọma na-adị mma, ya bụ jee binye aka ebe esela ọkụkọ maka ezi ọlụ. Ka anyị jee binye aka ebe esela ọkụkọ maka ndozi obodo anyị.
On election day, here is how to handle your ballot paper from the point of collection from the polling official to the point of casting your ballot.
Once a voter is accredited, he is given the ballot paper holder.
After thumbprinting the ballot in secret, fold the ballot paper inward and flatten. Then proceed to the area where the ballot box is placed in the open and deposit the ballot paper into the appropriate box. Ensure the ballot paper is properly folded. Fold your ballot paper properly. Avoid mishandling your ballot paper and prevent blocked ballots.
We are going to introduce quick dry impact so that will eliminate the risk of smashing and spoiling the ballot paper.
INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
It's still Good Morning Anambra, and we are talking citizens engagement, good governance. And right about now, we've been joined by another commentator, Dr. Anselm Mweke, who is a lecturer at Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Ibadan. Doc, you are welcome to the studio.
Good morning and thank you.
All right, Doc, let's now come to you. You know, we've been talking how best to promote citizens engagement and good governance. Now, the question that is going to you is, do you really think that citizens engagement and good governance will bring about good governance?
Yeah,
if yes, in what ways?
Yes, actually, when we talk about citizenship engagement or citizen engagement, in good governance, we're trying to look at how would the people, the citizens, participate in government process and governance activities. For instance, what they call the apolitical nature of the citizens has a great extent hindered their participation, because some of them feels those that we call parochial culture. They feel that they have no reason to engage in government activities that have no business with the government. And that, to a large extent, affects the operations of the government. Because those areas that the people should contribute, they are no longer contribute because they look at government as business of the state. You know, because there's one thing I want to also understand here. The pre-colonial era injected in us, this is the whereby we look at government as white people affair. We don't look at it as our own affair. Because at that era, civil service, their job is to raise revenue for the colonial masters. That's why I say Oluoyibo. So the thing still affects us after independence, that we will still look at government as their affair. It's no longer our affair. But we should look at it as our affair, our government, our business. Because it now concerns us, no longer the issue of the white men.
So that's the question. What do we have to start doing now to make the people see that it is our affair and no longer the white people's affair?
Good. What we need to do now, one, sensitization. Making sure that we educate the people on the need for them to come out and participate. First of all, they are understanding their civic responsibilities. Civic responsibilities. That is your right to vote during election, to participate in government processes, to protect government properties around you. You know, because public goods or public property around us, we should protect it. We should defend, we should answer prompt national call. So people need to be educated about these civic responsibilities, that their obligations to the state.
Let's see who is here. Hello, good morning. Good morning. We lost that. You know, now you've really answered that the citizens' participation can help in good governance. Now, in what ways do you think citizens' participation can bring about good governance?
Of course, citizen participation will bring about good governance when the leaders know that the people are actually checkmating them. There won't be room for corruption. And then when the leaders or the political elites understand that if they enrich themselves while they're in office, that there won't be any rousing welcome for them, what will they do? They will up their game. They will be able to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people. But when they discover, the political class discover that once you get to the government, loot the money that has been earmarked for your people and come back home and get a chieftaincy title, definitely the culture will continue. But when the people realize that if I go back home without delivering the dividends of democracy or without showing these people my scorecard, if I'm in the National Assembly, without telling them this is the motions or the bills I've moved for your welfare, that these people can even recall me. Until then, what we are experiencing will continue. So the bottom line is that we ourselves should be involved in the process that gets these persons. Let me make it more practical. I like what is going on in Anambra as a state. For example, in Anambra Central, if you follow the media, the new media, you've seen candidates of you've seen the incumbent senator representing the St. Anambra Central, trying to tell the people that this is what I've done, visiting them, having constituency meetings with them, and then you now see the person who was there before trying to tell the people that this is what I've done or what I did when I was there. This is in Anambra Central. In Anambra South, you cannot see where the senator representing the people calls for a constituency a meeting and tell the people that this, what is actually happening. You will not begin to ask yourself, what is happening in Anambra South? Why is it that the people there are less concerned about their own affairs? But here in the central, the people are like politically active. Then what will now come to your mind is that in election there, the people in Anambra South believe that a particular person has been earmarked by the powers that be to remain in power, that whether we vote or not, that our vote does not count. So at this point in time, the people, especially those in Anambra South, should be able to know that if you continue with that attitude, that it doesn't matter who gets there, whether you vote or not, that someone must be there. There is no way you'll be able to hold whoever that will be there accountable. Right. Those people, they are public servants, and they should be accountable to the people.
All right, so we'll still get back to you. The program is still Good Morning Anambra, talking about promoting citizen participation and good governance. I think we have to take this call before we go for a short break. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? All right, you're welcome.
I'm reaching you from Umungo.
All right, go ahead, Barrister.
Yes, I just want to agree with the last speaker. He has just said it all. The problem we have with our leaders is that most of the times they don't engage the citizens. They believe they can even win election without your support. Because they are not engaging the citizens, most people don't even have interest again in knowing what they are doing. The way you go for town hall meetings, you engage your people, you tell them what you do, what you've done, then people will now have interest to partake. They will have interest to now say, okay, let's see how we can help to ensure that there are development and some other things. So it is the problem of our leaders that are like it.
All right, thank you very much.
So that they will understand what you are doing as a leader and they will have interest.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barrister. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning.
Yes, your name and location.
I'm calling my name is
Onyeka from Mpo. Please speak up, and be first.
So we can hear you.
all right. Please, all right. So I want to ask a question. Yeah? How many years are we going to vote in democracy?
Is that your question, Onyeka?
I asked a question. Since you have been voting, yeah, I said, how many years are we going to vote against the democracy started?
Can
I
anybody
think I
answer him?
understand what the point he's trying to make is this. Like
He
all
asked
these
a
years,
What benefit do we get from it?
that's what I'm trying to say. So his point is this: all these years we've been voting. I think I know the direction he's going. All these years we've voting. What is our gain? I'll tell you something. Because of your votes in 1999, that is why you have GSM. You can call. So if you didn't vote in the government as at then, that is if you voted. Of course, we may not have the GSM, the ICT, so many things. We've made progress between 1999 and now. This is not the way it is. And then you have freedom of expression. You know, during the military rule, there are some things you cannot do. Even on television, there are things you cannot say. So some of your roads has been tarred. If you compare before 1999 and now, there are so many dividends of democracy that you've enjoyed. So what we are trying to say now is this: don't just stay at home and say that since 1999 to now, we've not benefited anything from government. That is not true. You benefited so much from the government.
All right, thank you very much, Onyeka. And I think that's part of what we are saying here. All right, at this point, we would like to go on a very short break. The program will return after now. Let's just feel the pulse of the people out there.
Ndụ mmadụ na ọchịchị gọọmenti bụ by gọọmenti ịdị na-eme ife dị mma kwechiri na maga na-eme ife kwechiri ndụ mmadụ ndụ abụrụ ndụ gọọmenti a na-asị yes na gọọmenti a na-eme ọfụma ọ ga-agwụba agwụ isonye na the gọọmenti ife a bụ ọchịchị onye kwuo uche ya gọọmenti bụ fa anyị nwa bụ for gọọmenti.
One of the ways is by ensuring that they know more about their civic responsibilities. Because if they know their civic responsibilities, their duties to the state, it will be able to help. Good followership requires good leadership.
The government has to give the people a sense of belonging by making sure that it carries the people along. Because the government is set up by the people through their votes, and the government is meant for the people. And so when the government endeavors to give people what the people need, providing the people with the basic amenities and making sure that the basic amenities are affordable to the people, you find out that the people will be interested in what happens in government.
We can get people involved in good governance by grassroots mobilization. You have to keep the people at the grassroots informed. A lot of people are not informed. They don't know their rights. They don't know what they should expect from government. They don't have much information. I think the press has a lot to do in this area. by taking information down to the grassroots level. I think it should start from there.
People can only get committed when they are involved. You can't get committed to something you know nothing about. First thing is for government to deliver to the people, because that mandate is being held on people's behalf. The moment you deliver, the moment you provide the necessary amenities, provide employment, provide infrastructures, and all the rest of them, and people are seeing these things, obviously they will key in.
All right, it's still good morning, Anambra. We are talking promoting citizens' participation, good governance. Now we are still trying to find out ways citizens' participation can bring about good governance. And you heard what the last caller actually said.
One thing I want to comment on this is this. The last caller was talking about the benefits of democracy, what we have benefited so far from democracy. And there are a lot of things that we've benefited. Because looking at, the issue of looking at individual, you as a person, having that freedom of speech, freedom of movement, except where there's a curfew, freedom of association, worship, religion, all this. So one of these things is one of the fundamental human rights that we've been able to attract to ourselves.
All right, let's see.
Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. Your name and location. Chinedu, please speak up so the world can hear you. Chinedu from Niue. All right, go ahead with your contribution. Hello? Yes, Chinedu, go ahead. Go ahead. Hello, Chinedu.
Oh, we lost Chinedu. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, there's no way we can begin to compare democracy with military rule. Military, which is a dictatorial system of government, very dictatorial, that you cannot, you are not be free to move around. But democracy have given us the opportunity to participate in government. What I want to tell this young man, the man that called, is that him as a citizen, sovereignty belongs to the people. Sovereignty belongs to the people. In principle and even in practice. Because we are the people that will elect those that represent us. The president, the governor, the senate, house assembly member, and we also hold them accountable. Because the position has empowered us that we can record them if they are not doing well.
All right, hello.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, you're connected. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
All right, please, in case you want to really communicate with us, please call and tune down the volume of your television set, or you move away from there so that we can get to communicate more effectively here. All right, you were saying something before we...
So I'm talking about sovereignty. It's democracy that gives us that sovereignty. Outside democracy, we don't have that sovereignty.
Okay,
giving power to the people.
Let's come home a bit. Okay. You know, the reality on ground. The reality on ground. Somebody during campaign promised, like yesterday I watched one. The man was touching even the less privileged, touching everybody. But once the person becomes a governor, even you want to come, don't come close, he's a governor, and stuffs like that. With this on ground, do you really think there's any hope for the citizen to really engage the way he should?
Actually, the way we do our governance is a problem. We'll scare people away. The moment we got into power, we'll try to scare people away. We'll now belong to another class.
And people will carry gun and
carry
block
gun and
the gun.
Which is not a normal thing. In advanced countries, you see presidents walking around without security, without siren. But here, the siren, a governor or a house assembly member will have siren.
All right, let's see who's here. We have callers. Hello? You're flouting our rules, so please tune down the volume. Tune down the volume of your TV set.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning. It's Ike calling from Delta State.
You're welcome, Mr. Ike.
Right,
which part of Delta State?
Asaba.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually want to thank the crew for this program.
Thank you.
Promoting citizenship, engagement, to good governance.
Thank you.
What I want to contribute is that, like the last speaker was saying, or you said that, when some of them are vying for leadership positions, they bring themselves very low. But after winning elections, they become demigods. I think what I want to comment here is that the citizens themselves, especially the young ones, I think time has come when we know that these people play on our intelligence. They know what is good actually, but they, because of the kind of like a physical attitude of the citizens, they pretend not to know, because ordinarily they can know that they need sympathy of the people. They can come to as in show kind of feelings for the less privileged, only for them to become super gods after winning the election. Then subsequent election, what is stopping the citizens from telling them, last 4 years you came here, you were showing us good this and that, and after that election you cut off the relationship, only for you to resurface in the third year. They can engage by signing agreements. At that point in time, at this time people are educated. People should be able to put the education in place. For instance, somebody is going for a secretarial position. He's promising you positions, giving you promises you know ordinarily has no such right to fulfill. Or somebody is going for a executive position, he's giving you relevant projects. You know that such projects cannot be fulfilled by the budget or the income of the state. Why can't you ask that person, how do you hope to make the money? It's not just only right to say, I will give you the second Niger Bridge, or I will give you this and this. How is the fund going to come? You understand? And then go into agreement. They can sign a written agreement with your group.
All right.
The group so that when that agreement, when such promises is not yet, you take the person to court, or you now invest the power of the court. So what I want to encourage the citizens is that begin to hold people accountable to their promises.
All right.
If for any reason, because we know that sometimes they deny, tell them right things.
All right, thank you.
Have done things and a certain thing that will mandate them to answer to their promises.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ike. That's a wonderful contribution from Ike. Now, on a final note, Ike have said that there is need to sign a pact with them before going in so that they could be held accountable. Now, in what other ways do you really think citizens can really engage these people as a way of signing off, please?
Well, apart from the issue of a pact, the citizens should also, during campaign, try to, as much as possible, to let the contestants know, first of all, that their sovereignty belongs to them. They have the right to recall them. Some of these rights will begin to exercise them.
How do they really recall them? Is it easy?
No,
is it that easy?
Yes, now. What is that?
Okay. What's your take? What's your take before we go?
Well, my take on this is this. Number one, if the citizens must be alive to the responsibilities, this electionary period, we must shun vote buying. You cannot go and collect 10,000 naira bags of rice and other things, and then tomorrow you want to demand that the person should be accountable to you.
All right. We leave it at that for now, and we must say very big thanks to you, Dr. Anselm Mweke. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
We also thank you, Timothy Nwachukwu. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And we also appreciate Mr. Bruno Ibekilo, who has left us from the studio. Thank you all for coming, and we thank you all our callers, especially Ike that called from Asaba with that wonderful contribution. Until we come your way again, my name is Nonye Mokoye.
And I'm a very Uganda.
All right, we'll be back shortly.